Okay, we're live again here at Axtamer Studio. I'm Ian Bradford. I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a tutorial on how to set up a template tonight. You can see I've got a voice already up in my corner here, a channel I had to create earlier so I can actually speak to you through Cubase. But I'll show you how to start one from afresh. I might just disappear. I'm just going to open up a program, a new project, and create a empty template, empty project, and then I was going to close it down again so you can hear me speaking. So you go up to your left hand corner here, click File, New Project. This will be the window which you initially see when you obviously open up your Cubase from the icon on the desktop or wherever when it initially fires up. So you've got your recent projects and scoring and bits and pieces. There's a couple I did the other day, but I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to create an empty. I'm going to tell it where I'm going to store it. Select folder. I'm going to disappear for a fraction of a second, and I'm going to reactivate this project. So just okay, I've just reactivated this one. So that brief window, which you'd see, is a blank version of what this is. I've had to create a couple of channels, as I say, so I can actually speak to you on YouTube tonight. So initially, if you haven't, if this is the first time you've come across this channel, please like and subscribe for me, and click the notification bell for when I come on and do some more live streaming. So initially, if you're new to this, I'll do a very quick run through how you'd set up your sound card. If you can hear me via YouTube, via your new sound card, you are halfway there already. So once you get this window up, you'd click up here onto Studio, down to Studio Setup. On your audio system, make sure that this one's clicked, and make sure your ASIO driver is the same one you're using for your new sound card. There are other versions. If you've got several sound cards installed, you will see other options, but make sure it's the one you're actually using at this particular moment in time. And I'm going to keep the ASIO driver. The other thing you need to do, leave all this stuff. Don't worry about this stuff too much initially to get yourself off the ground. The other thing you need to do is go back up to the Studio button again. Do an audio connection, and you'd have to do what they call add a bus. I've already added one here called mic in. It's a mono source. If I just quickly add another one just to show you how to do it, just click add bus, configuration, either stereo or mono, how many you want, how many counts you want. If you wanted 3 or 4 of them, just click this button up on the little thing, or click in it, and you can actually type it in if you wish. Do it that way. I'm just going to add the one. I'm going to call this one mic 2, perhaps. Mic 2. And it adds a bus. There we are. It's just added a bus, and you need to select on this here which input port you're going to be using. So if you've got a little two input interface, you can have your microphone coming in one side, and perhaps your guitar coming in the other side. You can change the name, but just by clicking in it, if you wanted to call that one guitar in. So you've got a mic going in one input and a guitar, for example, going in the other, GTR, guitar. So we've created a couple of channels. You'll notice that guitar one I've just created has now popped up. Originally I only had 2 things here. It now pops up and I've got another thing appeared. So as another source. If you want to add any other sources, for argument's sake, we'll do a stereo source, and we'll just say this one's a stereo in. Stereo in. We could add a bus there, and if you've got any additional inputs on your interface, mine will take SP-diff connections. You may have one of them. It's like an RCA type connection on the back. Or you may have, as I've got, an additional sound card, an ADAT or something. If you've got a bus up there, you don't want it, just right click on it and you can remove the bus. And that bus has now disappeared. And you can now save this as a preset if you wish. I've got one called guitar input and no preset, and all sorts. So I could save this as we'll call this just test one. Test one. There we go. And we click on OK on there. We've got an option then of doing different configurations. We can have this configuration to this configuration. Notice I disappeared because it was using different inputs. So there you are. You can set up inputs and outputs for different projects. So go from there. If we wanted to set up a template, which is what I primarily wanted to do this lesson about, what we need to do is either up here or do a right click in here if you're an old-fashioned right-click person like me. I was brought up on Windows, and that's what we used to do, what we've always done to bring up menus. You can add various tracks here. So when you're thinking about doing your template, you want to think, how many guitars do I want to put on? Do I want wet ones? Do I want the dry sources and all sorts? We'll just do a quick one, just using a couple of three inputs, and you'll get the idea of what you can do. And what I tend to do to try and keep things nice and tidy, I initially set up a folder track. So I'll go up here and just click the plus button up here and set up a folder track. And we have a folder track here, there, and we're going to just call this guitars. Guitars. We're just going to add one folder track called guitars. Now once I've got the guitar thing up, we can open it up and we can add further tracks inside this folder then. So we're now going to add some audio tracks, and we're going to use our input guitar in, which we created earlier. And we'll call this one, we'll call these, if you want to make it, yeah, we call them whatever you like, axe. Yeah, axe. If I just add the one, it'll just call it axe. If I add multiple, say for argument's sake, I knew I was going to be putting at least 8 guitars on, add tracks, it's going to add the tracks now inside the folder, and it's called it axe 1, axe 2, axe 3, axe 4, etc., and it's all, they're all ready routed, ready for you to rock and roll with, basically. So, you'll find your window, as you add more and more tracks, you'll end up scrolling up and down for miles and miles looking for things. That's why I put things into folders. So I can actually, I haven't put that in the folder yet. That's a wet fish moment again. Right, let's to select them all. I've clicked on the top one. I'm holding down the Shift key on my keyboard, and I am going to click on the bottom one. It highlights them all. And then you can just literally drag them up into there. You see the green line appear. That means I'm dropping it into that folder. And there we are. We've dropped it into the folder. Now if we close the folder up, it's disappeared off the screen. Open it back up again. There we are. We can open and close it. So helps keep yourself organised. Well, let's add another folder track, and we'll call this one Bases. So this time we've done it with a right click, and we're going to add a folder track, and we'll call this one Bases. Bases. So we'll just add one of them. And once again, we'll add a couple of audio tracks. We'll use the guitar input as well, because we can play the bass through that. We'll just call this one Bass. And we'll add a couple of them just in case we wanted to do 2 or 3 bass parts. So we'll just add two for now. Added the bass parts. Once again, you can either control and click individual ones, look out in there, and just drag it up into the basses folder. Close that up. Well, it's still nice and tidy. So we can have the guitars open independently of the basses. Keep yourself organised, and it's easy to navigate around your project. You'll see, as I've created all them tracks along the bottom here, it's also created a load of channels for us. So I've just created the axe channels, and the 2 basses have now appeared down here. If it starts getting a bit crowded down here, you can reduce the width of these just by clicking up here. Or if you're actually in the window, you can use H and G on your keyboard to bring them in and out of the size. More and more you get, more and more it's going to start getting overcrowded in the screen. So you do want to shorten them after a while. So right, let's add a instrument track. This time we'll add a Halion Sonic SE. I think I had a tutorial on that on last night's video. We'll load up a preset in it, ready so that this is ready to play at a moment's notice. I don't know, we'll just go warm piano and pad. That does no different now. So that's just loading up. Okay, right. So that's loaded up. We're not actually going to do anything with it, so it's just ready there for us if we wanted to use it in a project. We also want to add another instrument track. So we want our trusty drum machine. Mine is up here somewhere. Where are we? We'll put Halion Sonic SE in. I think this is bundled with elements. So we'll just add. That's it. Halion Sonic SE is loaded up. So it automatically arms itself right to recording. We don't want to record on that. So what I tend to do is load a kit up ready as well. So if we go up here, it shows all the available kits. Some of these you won't actually have on your system, because I've bought some of these things as separate packages for Groove Agent. So if we go on the kit SE, you should have this one, and for so we'll go with the classic rock and Like a Pony. It's just going to load up now. So on that, I'm going to set this up so if I wanted to play it on my little, I haven't actually got my, I didn't switch my Oasis on, so it's not showing up on the thing. I've got a little MIDI controller, but I've forgotten to turn it on. Normally it turns on and it will show up there as an input and then an output and whatnot. So basically, it's just you can do this off a MIDI keyboard. But what is even better is just the pattern side of it. If you get it to follow the transport, as soon as you press the play button, it starts playing. There's various ways of programming this. I did a quick appraisal of this last night for people, so you can get it to play from there. When it plays from there, it doesn't actually respond to the. Actually, it still responds to the controls I'm talking about. Right, that's another wet fish moment. Right, okay, so we've got a drum machine there. So now we're just going to add another little set of tracks for doing, if you wanted to do some singing. So we're going to add some audio tracks, and this time we'll change the audio input source to the mic in. You can do configuration. You can have them in stereo or mono. Doesn't make much difference, to be honest, at this point. We'll call these just Vox. VOX. And we'll add say half a dozen of them. So there we go. Add track, Vox, and you'll see they've all just dropped down because there's no folder to put them in yet. I can go and create a folder after the fact, just by clicking up this button here or right clicking here. So we'll add a folder track, and we'll call this one Vox as well. So we know where we are, and once again I'm just going to click on that one, hold down shift, click on that one, and then hold down the mouse key and drag them in, stick them in this little folder, and there we go. So we've got everything nice and tidy now. So like I was saying earlier, even if I get rid of this bottom window now, if I start having all this stuff open, you start having to scroll up and down. And so if you've got your little mixer window over there as well, you're going to be doing a lot of scrolling up and down. So there's the beauty of doing your folder tracks, which is you can do the same thing. We could stick these instruments into a folder track if we wanted to, for argument's sake. If you start using a lot of software, soft synths and groove agents and little plugins and bits and pieces, you might want to put them. We can call these instruments. instruments, add track, and once again we can take them and drop them into the instruments, and now you can hide them away as well. So it's all customizable. You can just put, like I say, you can just put something straight on. We'll just go this whatever for now. I'm going to delete this, and that doesn't actually put it into a folder or anything. So that's like not having folder tracks. So what I'll do with that, I'll just delete that one. Right click and down to remove selected tracks, or shift delete if you. It does tell you the shortcut key just here if you are a shortcut person. So I could say earlier, I'm on old school right click. So there we go, remove selected tracks, and that one's disappeared now. We can play around and do some other stuff with these tracks, but first of all, we will go into the project, and no, not project. We're going into edit. We're going to edit preferences. Now, what we can do in here, we can do all sorts of color customizations and all sorts of. When you come into here, you need to go down to user interface, and we've got color schemes, track type default colors. I've already changed one of them to like a orangey color, and other bits you can change. So if you want to change anything, say the project area, background, or the grid line color, or you can change the grid line and make them brighter. And if you're watching this window and I do it now, it should brighten up. There we go. So you can change the color of your grid line. If you don't like that color, you can change to another color to suit yourself in your area background. You can change all this around to different colors. I don't know why it doesn't give you more color options, but I think it's because it is elements. And various backgrounds. You can customize whatever you like. Color pickers, and you've got for bits and pieces. But reset it all. I'm just going to reset it back to auto. Another thing you can do, you can go in and change all your default track colors. So anything which is audio, we could say we want audio to be this rather horrible shade of green. So, and then all the audio tracks now have changed down here, as you can see in this window, to a peculiar shade of green. So you can do that. Put it back to defaults. Okay with that. You can also change your colours from other places. If we went up to here and you need this thing selected, if you click on it, it drops down a little box and choose your colours. So if we have, I don't know, guitars are blue, and if you open it up there, that only changes the colour of the track. But if you wanted to change the individual colours, just make sure this thing's always highlighted, and that allows you to colorise things. Go up here, and we can say have that one that colour, and that one a slightly different shade of it perhaps. And so within you can go through all your things and change your colours to suit yourself. And as you see, it changes the fader colour on top here as well to suit. So you can customise it all as much as you like, play around with it. You can customise see my voice going up and down here in the meter. You can customise the colours of the meters of all things, I believe. And so we're going to edit preferences again. And there's all sorts of editing things. This time we want to have metering appearance. We're going to go and edit that. And we can start pulling these colours around and change bits and pieces. And let's see what happens. What have we done here? Change that one to that. Okay. And okay that. And we've seen our meter colours and how changed to another funky set of colours. So that's a very, very quick appraisal and tutorial of how you can customise your little bits and pieces. I'll let you do the rest of the fiddling. One of the things you need to do with Cubase is just fiddle around with it and have fun. So I hope you've enjoyed this short tutorial video. What I'll just do as the final thing is, when you've got all your little bits and pieces done, you need to save it as a template. So what I'm going to do is just go File, Save as Template, and we'll just call this one Colorized Colors. Okay. So next time you load up a project, from within your templates, which I did show you earlier, if I went File, New Project, that will now come into, where's my templates gone? More, there we go. It's in More. So empty, and there's the colours one, and I've got a live stream blank and a slightly different thing for doing other things. So hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have enjoyed it and it's opened your eyes for a little bit here and there, I know I've made another few little chatting mistakes. I'm doing this on the fly. I'm trying to produce this, and it's all unscripted. As if you do watch a lot of my YouTube channel, you'll find I'm flying by the seat of my pants for the majority of the time, and tonight is no different. So you've saved it as a template. That's about all I need to tell you tonight. So I'm going to call it a night and go downstairs and drink some beer, I think. So good night, YouTube.